We've got a couple of things coming up. I don't know if there's anybody else here who's going to remind, but this Saturday is the gumbo cook-off. We have the parade Saturday morning and the gumbo cook-off at Okies. And the following Saturday is man cake, so come out and watch us cook. We're going to have a good time.
All right, thank you, Ed. Rick Fisher?
Yep, slow time of year for parks and pools, so I have not had a meeting recently, so nothing to report.
Okay, Jeff Terrell?
Yeah, nothing to report tonight.
All right. Alex Scanlon?
Got the parking study back today at 2 o'clock, and I've just kind of skimmed it. I haven't done anything with it, but it's back, so it's progress. That's all I've got.
That's good news. Amanda Fenton?
Good evening, everybody. We had our last emergency services board meeting a couple weeks ago. 1:46. The opening was delayed. Was supposed to be the end of January. Now, last I heard, the ribbon cutting is going to be on the 23rd of this month. Have you heard any different, Mayor?
I have not.
Okay.
I was on an email with Robin Collins and the mayor from Seabrook, and I know they pushed it back.
Yeah, so
maybe
the end of this month, that'll be open, but hopefully soon. I know they picked up a lot of stuff, and they've been driving it every morning. So, and then the ESB has applied for a grant for some dorms to add on to the fire station, and so we should hear back on that fairly soon. I think they said probably sometime in March. And then finally, if you see the fire chief around, he and his wife just became parents. They had a baby girl. Her name's Vivian Rebecca, so offer your congratulations to him. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you for all that good news. Okay, I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a city administrator report with my mayor report here. Starting off with the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs. I know there was a lot of things going on Facebook. I can assure you that no one in our office called and asked for that. We all woke up to the same thing you did. There were 2 signs, one on each side of the road. They didn't even have all the signs replaced yet. And I started getting phone calls from multiple friends that live on either ends of us in League City and Kemah saying, "What did y'all do, set up a speed trap?" We had nothing to do with that. That was a huge misunderstanding with TxDOT. They put those signs up. Brad started emailing them that same morning. Long story short, they had an internal confusion. They would not let us take those signs down. I know Brad and David were saying, can we put bags over them? Can we take them down? Because all of a sudden people want to drive their golf carts out there. That was not us. At the end of the day, they came and put them back to where they should be. The city council at one point, it was brought forward by Kurt and that council before I came along, and they were going to rebuild these bridges back here in Lazy Bend. They wanted to lower the speed limit because some of the people that live here didn't want to get in their car and take their kids to school. And somebody thought that was a really safe, good idea. Well, I'm going to tell you that's not a safe, good idea to be on a golf cart on 2094, because even if it was 10 miles an hour, they'd still be going 50. That finally came to us 8 months after those bridges were built, and we as a council decided unanimously that was not safe. So we elected not to further that 35 miles an hour. That's the history I have on that, so that had nothing to do with us. we asked them to put them back. That's why they're back up to 40 miles an hour. So I don't think we have an interest in doing that just so we can get to Watergate. I'm sorry, Mike Pons, I know that's been a big deal to you, and we worked really hard on the sidewalk grant, which we are no longer in because they discontinued that and said we didn't qualify, along with League City and Kemah. So we're not interested in lowering that speed limit, I don't believe. So that's a little bit of background on that. Yes, the EDC spent a ton of time, along with League City and Kemah, and for whatever reason they kicked us out of that, so we're no longer in the running for that. The next item was the truck for Public Works. We approved that at the last council meeting. Brad did send that PO in. Unfortunately, that truck was not sitting on the lot, so they didn't have it. It's going to be 12 to 16 weeks before it's delivered to us, fully ready to operate. There's nothing we can do to make that go any faster. So that's the update on the truck. Like Ed said, the gumbo cook-offs this weekend, the parade. I know I'll be there. Y'all come out and support it. It's a big event. It'll be a lot of fun. Boat ramp. This is a touchy one, but I got to tell you the truth. So the truth is, Brad had brought me up to speed on the fact that we were just about ready to kick off looking for bids on construction. And at the very last minute, we jumped through a hoop with a manatee study. We got that done. I don't know if we have manatees out here. I have no idea. But they thought we might, and we might be disturbing their habitat, so they wanted us to do that. As of a week or so ago, when Brad asked for the update, the latest update is now they're worried about sea turtles. So they want to do a sea turtle study. They're going to do that study. Angie and I were on the phone with them today about that project, and they're going to hold this thing up possibly another 6 months before we can go out to bid for construction. So I know I was looking at it with Cheryl. This thing started almost 4 years ago, and this is where we're at. They assured me today in our phone conversation this is absolutely the last hoop we got to jump through. Hallelujah, if that's true. Then we can go out to bid, and I think we'll be moving into the construction phase of it. So that's kind of where we're at with that. That's not good news, but it's news, and we're nearing the end, believe it or not. The last thing on my list, but it's not really the last thing on my list, is the CAV. So the update on the CAV is we're still working on a letter that we're going to be sending out to some of those that were dinged in the CAV. So whoever those people are, and I don't know who those people are as I'm sitting right here, right now, until Debbie, the lady we're working with, comes into the office and gets with Angie. So we have come up with that letter that FEMA wants us to send to the homeowners that are in violation. They're going to have a certain amount of time to either prove they're not in violation or become compliant. One of the setbacks with that is that we were just about ready to close it up. There had been multiple open records requests done by some citizens, and that got turned into FEMA, and those set us back even further because now they're digging further and further into making us comply more in depth of what we're going to do. So God forbid when the next hurricane comes, there's going to be a lot of us that need to be in compliance, and the rules are getting stricter from them because of this. So they are not lightening up. They are getting much, much more strict with us, and we do not want to lose our FIP. If we lose that, we're in trouble because there is no insurance for us outside of that FIP. So it's very, very important that we stay in compliance with FEMA no matter what. So the city will be doing whatever they ask us to do to stay in compliance. So that's coming to the citizens real soon. We will definitely work with you any way we can, but you understand this is not coming strictly from us. This is coming straight from FEMA. And there was a lot about this when I got on council I didn't understand, But there's a whole lot about it I do understand now, and it's very critical that we stay in that program. It's gonna be detrimental to, I'm lucky, I own my home, it's not a big deal. New people that move in here with mortgages are gonna have a big problem if we lose that flood insurance, because they're not gonna be able to keep their mortgage. They're gonna take that mortgage back if they can't provide flood insurance for that property. So it is a very big deal. That's all I have on that right now. We are supposed to meet with them Friday, I believe they're coming in to meet with Angie and I, and we should have a lot more information on when that cab could be actually closed out and we're considered in compliance completely. We are not on the verge of losing it yet. We just have to jump through some hoops to show them that we're going to stay in compliance no matter what. So that's really all I have. We will move on to staff reports. Chief Donaldson.
Mayor, Council, the stats for January, traffic contacts 107, majority were in the school zone. 2 narcotic offenses, 1 accident, 16 warrant arrests, 2 disturbances, 2 theft, assist other agencies 5, residential checks 66, business checks 389. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Something real fast.
Yes, let me say something real
okay.
quick. I should have done this in the beginning. Christy just brought it to my attention. We had a problem with our recording machine. We have lost several hard drives in that recording machine. Some of you are not going to be able to view the last meeting because when they changed the first 2 hard drives, we lost that video. Luckily, there wasn't an EDC meeting that was recorded. It was only that one council meeting that we had last, and we lost that video. So we won't be able to get that video back. We've lost 3 more hard drives in that thing. We're unable to video this one also. Christy sent them an email stating, we're still having problems, we need you back out here. So we're waiting on them to come back, hopefully tomorrow or the next day, and see what's further wrong with that. So as of right now, this meeting's not being recorded. I should have let you know that before the meeting started. I'm sorry, go ahead, Amanda.
That's okay. I just wanted to say thank you, Chief. He has and his team have been out at our school at Stewart, and so I have my parent hat on right now, but and asking his officers to make sure that they walk the school, that they have a presence there, and that they understand that layout for safety reasons and for community policing reasons. So those kids see their faces, those teachers and staff see their faces, and so Chief, I just want to say thank you as a parent and as a council member for that. That's been a long time coming, and so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll move into the public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the city council. The topic discussion is related to an item on the agenda. The comments may be made now or at the time the agenda item is discussed. If the topic of discussion is not related to any item on the agenda, the city council cannot deliberate or take any action at this time. Comments from the public should be limited to the maximum of 3 minutes per individual. Is there anyone that would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
Mayor and council, in reference to your comment, Randy, Mayor, about the video, does that also affect the audios? Because we had requested the video or audio of the last meeting on the short-term rentals, and we were told that that was not available. That was a long time ago.
The meeting on the short-term rental.
Yeah, there was a meeting, a hearing, and then there was a meeting where the ordinance was brought forward that Monica Leday brought forward. We asked for a copy of that, and we were told that that was not available. So I'm asking in reference to...
I'm not ignoring you. I'm thinking, stay with me after the meeting,
Okay.
and I'll get with you.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up.
At that time, I think Kurt Otten was still mayor, so, and I understand he was the one transcribing everything, so anyhow, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been an ongoing issue with
Yeah, and I will say, one of the things is, we may see that light on, that doesn't necessarily, you know, we think we're turning it on manually, but when those hard drives go out, you don't know it till you go to recover it. And that's why I really should have made that announcement before the meeting, but this is the first time I've had to deal with that. So, I didn't know we were having all those problems until the other day, and now we're really trying to address those. So, I do apologize about that, but I will get with you, Patrick, on that. Yes, sir.
The clock reset.
You go ahead.
Mike Pettit, I live on 818 Cedar. So I noticed that there's a table here that's conspicuously absent, and it's Brad Gooley. I don't know why he left. I'd heard a few things and maybe read a few things at this point 2 weeks ago that he left because maybe things were contentious on the island, or he was asked to do things that he thought were unethical. And so just to, I guess, talk about that a little bit. So I don't know the types of calls he was fielding from disgruntled citizens, but maybe he shouldn't be a conduit for that. I mean, in other communities, I don't know that the city manager is front and center in terms of taking heat for, you know, any little problem on the island, or if in fact that drove him off. But if it was a factor in driving him off, then we need to change that to where there's another way to, you know, voice those complaints. Maybe we need to look into some type of recording where you dial this number and then you list your complaint on the recorder, and hopefully someone will listen to it. But I'm not sure that Brad had the authority to make any changes, and to go, you know, complain to him about your problems on a daily or weekly basis wasn't fair to Brad. And so in that same vein, if he was asked to do things unethical, I mean, that has to stop as well. I mean, the reason for that is that if we continue to hire city managers and they last a year or less, then we're on the hook every year to requisition a finder's fee, a headhunter's fee, to come up with yet another city manager. And so you not only have the cost of, you know, coming up with the headhunter's fee, but the cost involved in taking the time for everybody to interview applicants and eventually come to a conclusion about who you may want to hire, then only to find that an offer is extended and turned down, you know, because maybe there are other competitive offers which you didn't capture the applicant, and now you're back to square one. So this gets very, very expensive in the short and long run to try to keep the city manager in place. Now, I don't know, maybe Brad found a better deal down the road. You know, he took it instead. There's a lot of things I don't know about that, but that's just kind of what I've surmised about the situation. So thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else want to address the council? Thomas, you look like you're about to get up. You good? I'm ready. Okay. With no one else, we'll close the public comments. And moving on to the consent agenda. We got a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A and B.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda, items A and B as written.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Rick, got a second by Amanda. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimous. New business, discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. Approve Galveston County, May 4th, 2024 election contract with the City of Clear Lake Shores. So we are gonna have to contract, Galveston County. We're not gonna do this in-house anymore. Okay, we are going to have, an election because we're going to have to deal with the 0.25% sales tax. Being that we're bringing up an election, I do want to make another announcement. I want to thank all of you for re-upping for the next term and putting your name back in the hat. Thank you for the service you provided to our city so far, and thank you for willing to extend that service even further. So I appreciate that. So, is this the resolution, Christie, for this? Or are we just
No.
going on this by itself, just approving that? Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the contract with Galveston County for the election?
So moved.
So I have a motion by Amanda, do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda, got a second by Ed. Any discussion on that subject? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. Moving on to item B, Resolution 2024-01, a resolution of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, designating the Galveston County Daily News as the official newspaper of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, and establishing an effective date of January 1st, 2024. So this is just us renewing, us declaring that Galveston County newspaper is the Galveston Daily News for our city.
I move to approve resolution 2024-01.
All second.
I got a motion by Ed, got a second by Alex. Any discussion on that topic? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. Item C, authorize the city administrator or the mayor to enter into an agreement with High Tide Land Surveying to conduct drainage survey on Clear Lake Road from Birch Road to Grove Road for $5,950. Alex Scanlon.
This is just a roads and drainage expense. It's doing the topographic survey from right here, right outside the clubhouse, all the way up to Grove Road on both sides in preparation for paving Clear Lake Road in concrete and, I don't know, doing maybe something to the ditches. We'll see what the survey shows. All motion to authorize the mayor to enter an agreement with High Tide Land Surveying in an amount of $59.50.
Okay, got a motion by Alex, got a second by Amanda. Is there any discussion on the subject? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. On to item D, ordinance 2024-03, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas to adopt general changes to the Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 2, Section 2-68Z, spending authority of mayor and city administrator. That's you once again, Alex.
All right, this is an ordinance change regarding exactly what it says, the amount that the mayor and city administrator is allowed to spend without coming to council. Councilman Fisher, I think you may have modified this one in the past. I'll make a motion here to change the amount. I guess that we can discuss it after that. I'll motion to approve a change to Ordinance 2024-03 to change the spending authority of the city administrator and the mayor to $10,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion by Alex, got a second by Rick. Is there any discussion?
This is restoring what has historically been the spending limit for those two positions, especially with Brad leaving. You know, two of the items on this agenda for $59.50, and I think the other one is somewhere in that range, $8,000. You know, where they're having to bring it to council to do simple day-to-day tasks, and to make it go smoother, it would be nice for them to not have to bring that to us every time. I believe it's any check over 10,000 has to come here before they can sign it.
Even if it's a budgeted item, our maximum spending limit is $10,000. Yes. Or we get in trouble with her, which in turn gets us in trouble with you. So we don't want to do that.
And from a contractual perspective, it's $5,000 for contracts, according to this. So are you changing this also?
Yes, so it's changing both values to 10,000.
From 5,000 on that to 10,000 and then 10,000 here. So this is entering into contract commitments, so that should be up to 10,000.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll amend my motion to state 10,000 for both quantities in that ordinance.
Still second it.
Okay. Have a amended motion by Alex, Got a second by Rick. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimous. On to, item E. Authorize the mayor to enter into a professional service agreement with Pavement Management Services for road maintenance data management program. I'm gonna refer back to Alex. I was not at the last roads and drainage meeting.
Can you remind me what the value is on this one? It's been like 3 months since we put this through roads and drainage.
I think it's in
I think this is it. So PMG is a pavement management group. They go, and every 2 to 3 years they go and they videotape and basically rate our roads and maintain a digital map that logs our existing road conditions. This is something the citizens have typically done on an Excel sheet, which is proved to be questionable at times. I mean, Richard's done a great job with it, but it's a lot of work. And so we started doing this, and it is essentially paying a professional service to identify the roads that are actually in need of repair, and we vet it with our own rating system. So this is just a continuation of that, and this funding will come out of the roads and drainage budget, which, you know, we allocate more than this every year in there. So the cost is there. It won't affect the city budget. I recommend that we approve it. Randy, you're going to have to handle this with them, though, so that'll be a learning curve handling this with PMG.
Oh, no, I have Hugh.
Oh, great.
I have Thomas, too. We're good.
Yeah.
Did you make a motion?
No, I can. I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to enter into a professional service agreement with Pavement Management Group for road maintenance data management program in the amount of $15,000 as stated in the latest contract here.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Alex, got a second by Amanda. Any discussion?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, so do they just come out, it's $15,000, do they just do that once a year, or do they do any kind of, continuing surveys, just, cause, you know, you might, you know, do a survey in January, and then, you know, say in June, there's roads that need to be repaired, you know, how do we go about keeping, you know, track of that, as an ongoing process?
So what they do is they maintain something similar to like Google Maps. If you're familiar with that, it's actually on the same platform as like the national GIS information, which the whole country uses at this point. And they make a map of the city, and they evaluate the roads, and they input that data. They actually have a live video of the entire city, right? Every inch of road is recorded on a video. They identify hot spots, they identify problems, and say 3 months from now we repave this section of Clear Lake Road, which is probably going to take longer than 3 months. But we do that. You provide them that information over the next 3 years, which this contract covers, and then they'll update the map. So they basically do an ongoing, real-time living survey or map of the city. And that the nice thing about it is it's transferable across administrations. It's transferable when someone leaves the committee, and you're not having to rely on one citizen to maintain that massive amount of information on their own. So there's 3 years of basically free support included in here. And don't quote me on that.
Well, and also
I'm pretty sure it's 3 years. I'm going from memory from like two months ago here. But
so the Roads and Drainage Committee also goes out and physically looks at the roads. We go look at those. We mark for the crack seal, which that's part of what we're getting into here, is doing some crack sealing to maintain the roads. Before then, we weren't really doing a lot of that preventative maintenance. We were just letting them get bad and then figuring out a way to replace them. This program helps us identify what roads are bad and how to keep those roads in good shape. We actually thought the roads were a lot worse than they were, did we not, Alex, until we got this done? And then we found out there were several roads that were in really good shape still. All we had to do was some maintenance.
Yes. All right, and Rick, to answer your question more directly, there's a $1,500 yearly fee that goes along with your per year for full support for the entire program.
I guess my question though is that they just come out and they'll do this survey just once a year, and then after that, I guess it's just up to us to go and identify what might need to be repaired because
Yes.
it just got worse.
That's correct.
But I guess
you
it
can always
does-
pay them to do additional trips, but we're
Yeah.
so small.
But I guess this will also, like you said, help identify hotspots, and, you know, just, hey, you might wanna keep an eye on this one spot.
Yeah, it does pretty well. We're gonna need a city administrator to get plugged in with this program also, so the timing is, you know, not great, but that's our reality.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to the next item. Item F, Resolution 2024-02, a resolution of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, providing that a general municipal election be held on May 4th, 2024, for the purpose of electing 3 aldermen. And once again, thank y'all for re-upping. And a special election to be held on the same day for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the city a proposition to reauthorize a 0.25% sales tax, or sales and use tax pursuant to the Texas Tax Code, Section 327-007, to continue to provide revenue for the maintenance and repair of municipal streets, designating the polling place, providing the form for such election, directing and giving notice of such election, and providing for details relating to the holdings of such election. So, every so often, we need to reaffirm that we're gonna continue putting that 0.25% sales tax back to the roads and drainage for some of these things we were just discussing actually in this PMG contract. So, it's for the roads and drainage, for our city to keep that going. So, do we have a motion?
You're not gonna do the part in Spanish?
I don't think you really wanna hear that.
Probably not. I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-02.
Okay.
I'll
Now,
second.
You got a motion by
Jeff.
Rick.
Was
Got a
that you?
sec-
Jeff, Ken.
Got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Motion passes unanimous. All right. That'll conclude the meeting at 7:02.